Welcome to Learning to Knit. I am Lucinda Segneri, founder of Madame Segneri Designs. In Lesson 2, we will be knitting these gorgeous, two-colored, fingerless mittens together. They go perfectly with the scarf we knit in Lesson 1. During this lesson, you will learn how to purl stitches, yarn forward and yarn back, see the difference between garter stitch, stockinette stitch, and 1x1 rib, cast off stitches ribwise, seam the finished work, and we'll also be reviewing the skills we learned in Lesson 1. You will need yarn, needles size 5mm, US 8 or UK 6, preferably in bamboo, scissors, a darning needle, and a tape measure. There's 2 small skeins of medium weight, soft yarn in coordinating colors. I have selected Fonty Aubusson merino wool in colors 9 and 8 for my mittens. For these mittens, we will cast on 30 stitches using the long tail cast on method we learned in Lesson 1. Pull 2 feet or 60 centimeters of yarn and double it over your index finger and thumb. Place the tail to the back. Now insert the needle tip from the back and turn clockwise to make the first stitch. Continue placing stitches on the needle using the 1, 2, and through method. At the end of your cast on, turn your needle to begin knitting the first 3 rows. Insert the tip of the needle in your right hand into the first stitch on your left needle. Wrap the yarn around the needle counterclockwise. Pull it through and slide the stitch off of the left needle and onto your right. Continue until you have finished knitting 3 rows. To purl stitches on row 4, insert your right needle into the front of the first stitch on your left needle, with the yarn feet to the front. Now wrap the yarn around the needle counterclockwise and pull through. Now slip the stitch off of the left needle and onto the right. Continue purling to the end of row 4. Knit the next row, purl the one after, alternating until you've completed 32 rows total, ending with a purled row. Now cut your yarn, leaving a tail for darning in, and tie on your next color. Knit one row in your new color.
Begin knitting the rib for the cuff of your mittens. You will knit one stitch, then bring your yarn forward through your needles and purl the next stitch. Then bring your yarn back through the needles and knit the next stitch. Continue alternating knit and purl stitches until you have completed the row. End with a purled stitch. And knit the next several rows the same way, ending on row 42. Cut your yarn, leaving a tail for darning in. With the new color, you will cast off ribwise by knitting the first stitch, purling the second stitch, bringing your yarn back and flipping the first stitch off of your needle. Now knit the next stitch and flip. Bring your yarn forward, purl the next stitch. Bring your yarn back and flip.
until you have finished the row, ending on a purled stitch. Cut the yarn, leaving a little extra this time, and pull it through the last stitch to secure. Created 3 types of stitches: garter stitch, where you knit all stitches; stocking net stitch, where you alternated knit and purled rows; and the 1x1 rib, where you alternated knit and purl stitches. We will begin seaming the sides of our mittens closed. We will seam from the top by the fingers down 2 inches or 5 centimeters, then we will leave an opening for the thumb, and we will seam from the bottom up 3 1/4 inches or 8 centimeters. We will begin by closing the cuff in color A. Place your yarn tail onto your darning needle. Hold the correct or outside sides together. Pick up a loop on the edge of the other side and tighten. Not too much. Bring the needle back through the other side. Tie this off like so. Now cut a length of yarn approximately 2 feet or 60 centimeters in color B. Place this yarn onto your darning needle. And tie the yarn on to one side of your seam. Continue seaming with the correct or outside facing you, as so. Use the needle to pick up 2 cross yarns in the opposite side, top, down, up. Then insert your needle into the opposite side where your yarn last emerged. You will stop when you have finished seaming the rib in color B. Pull the line gently to close the edge and tie off. Of yarn, approximately 2 feet or 60 centimeters, to seam in color A. Continue seaming as you did for the rib stitch. Three and a quarter inches or 8 centimeters, you will tie off your seam as before. the finger edge and continue seaming as before. Reached 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Compare your second mitten, when you have it, to your first to make sure your seams match. After you have tied off your yarn, turn your mitten inside out and begin darning in your ends. Edge, take extra care to darn in on stitches of the same color, staying close to the edge. Now turn your mitten right side out. You're finished. Good job! Lesson, you knit your first pair of mittens, as well as learn how to purl stitches, yarn forward and yarn back, see the difference between garter stitch, stockinette stitch, and 1x1 rib, cast off ribwise, and seam the finished work, as well as reviewed the skills you learned in Lesson 1. We will review each of these skills in Lesson 3, where we will knit our first hat together and learn some new skills. Enjoy your mittens!